It's Jaws' 40th. They made 39 sequels to this? Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's the 40th anniversary of Jaws. Now, I never got a chance to see Jaws when it hit the big screen, mainly because I wasn't alive yet, but I started out like any other fan. I watched it, I was terrified. Come on, you don't hear the theme every time you get in the water? I do when I'm in the pool. And after being terrified, I loved it. Not too many people can say they've seen Jaws once and only once. It's kind of like potato chips or M&Ms. You can never stop at just one. Chances are you've watched it numerous times and probably even have a favorite quote. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Well, this past weekend, I got a chance to see the movie in the big screen with my wife and Bruce. Bruce is my father-in-law. Fun fact, Steven Spielberg named the mechanical shark Bruce after his lawyer. He also called Bruce the Great White Turd. The shark, not the father-in-law. This was mostly due to the fact that the shark did not work when they wanted it to. But the real question is, why is this movie so popular? Universal has plenty of monsters like Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, even the creature of the Black Lagoon. But what made the terror of Bruce, the shark, not the father-in-law, stick in everybody's brain? Could it be a primal concern not to get eaten alive? Or maybe Jaws is a situational horror trope, much like the Walking Dead TV series is. You know, where you think to yourself, what would you do in that situation? Jaws opened in 1975 with roughly around 400 to 500 theaters. Now, to put that in perspective, Jurassic World opened with 4,200. This wasn't the norm, but it would set the stage for future summer releases. Hollywood at the time didn't think people would go to the movies during the summer. They'll be too busy on vacation to actually go and see a movie. That's how Hollywood executives sound. And after 2 weeks, Jaws recouped all of its cost. Universal MCA was planning on opening up with more theaters, but executive Lew Wasserman kept it under 500. He wanted to see lines at the box office. His thought was, the longer the line, the more hype, thus making more people want to see it. This created lines so long they wrapped around the block, creating the term blockbuster. And you thought it was just an old company that rented movies. I'm so glad I got a chance to see this movie on the big screen. There are just some movies that you have to see in the theater. A shocker for me was watching the girl skinny dip in the beginning of the movie. She was actually skinny dipping. You can see stuff. I admire people who skinny dip. I don't skinny dip. I chunky dunk. Great direction, believable actors, and an unforgettable music score by John Williams made this movie completely timeless. Except for this scene right here. For those that don't realize, beer cans in the 1970s were much thicker. Aluminum cans now are at least 40% thinner, and back then you had pull-off tabs instead. And in this scene, Robert Shaw does it pretty much with ease, showing a sign of strength to a young Matt Hooper, played by Richard Dreyfuss, making the following scene with a styrofoam cup even more comical. And this is another thing that the movie has. Comedy. Even though this is a horror/monster movie, it still has its funny parts. Personally, I love watching the trio match scars with each other, only to have Roy Scheider as Chief Brody inspect his appendix scar, which really was Roy Scheider's scar. Then on second thought, he keeps it to himself. Peer pressure knows no age. This movie has action, thrills, and scares, both jump and the creepy kind, plus funny scenes that are mostly sarcastic lines between the supporting characters. Listening to it made Amity a real place for the 67 million people that watched it on the theater. Future director Bryan Singer, most known for the X-Men movies and the TV series House, created his own production company called Bad Hat Harry Productions, referring to a particular scene in this movie. There is no doubt that everyone that watched this movie was somehow influenced. So what's your favorite Jaws character and why? If you liked the video, tap the like button and show some love. I'm going to be reviewing some movies and TV shows, so why don't you tell me which ones you'd like to see me take a crack at? Just leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.
At all, do you?
Some bad hat, Harry.